This video is about Arabian horses, their behavior, their mood, let's say, when you ride them or lead them or whatever. Some people say or believe that the Arabian horse is not actually good in their way of riding or in what they want the horse for. In some sports, like for example, cutting, reining, show jumping or whatever. Of course, it depends on the way of riding, how good the rider is, and how good or bad the horse is. But in my opinion, as I said before, and as I always say, blame or compliment the rider, never blame or compliment the horse or the tools. It's always us. The good things that the horse is doing is happening because of you. The bad things that the horse is doing is happening because of you. Don't blame the horse or the tools, blame yourself or compliment yourself. So an Arabian horse, good or bad, should give you a good final result if you are a good rider. And if he gave you a bad final result, it's you, not him. Okay, some horses are different, but still, as a result, it should be acceptable. If the result is not acceptable, it's you. Now, if he gave you the same result with a better mark, okay, he's a much better horse than the other horse, no problem. So both horses gave you the same result. This one gave you a better mark. The grades, let's say, are better. But both of them gave you, let's say, A+. But this one gave you 99, let's say, and this one gave you 95, it's acceptable. But if you say that the result is bad and the blame goes to the horse, it makes no sense, because if someone better than you rides the horse, he will give him a much better result. So it was you, not the horse. It was you, not the equipments and tools. What I want to talk about is simply the difference between Arabian horses and other horses when it comes for their mood or their nature. It's just like people. People are different. For example, Arabians are more hot, or let's say more energetic than some other people from other countries, for example. It happens sometimes, but there are some exceptions. If I look at a cold, calm, cool Arabian guy, then compare him to a very, let's say, angry, hot European guy. The hot European guy is closer to the Arabian mood or behavior or nature than the cold, relaxed, calm Arabian guy, and the opposite. So some Arabian horses are calm and relaxed, and they are easier to handle than other cold blood or warm blood horses who happen to be hot, or let's say confused sometimes. So it's not the breed, it's the behavior, it's the nature, it's the mood. Okay, it's normal. They connect the behavior or the nature or the mood to the bloodline. First of all, there are some exceptions, as I said before. Second of all, these exceptions, or without the exceptions, if you are a good rider, it's not an excuse to not control the horse in the way you want. So even if he's Arabian, and even if you prove that he's more hot or more energetic or crazy or whatever, because he's Arabian, a good rider will control him as much as he controls a cold blood or a warm blood, and sometimes even more. Which is the end of the discussion, in my opinion. But what I want to talk about is that if you really believe that the bloodline has a lot to do with it, and that because he's Arabian, or he's a hot blood, for example, Anglo-Arabians, Barb horses or whatever, you couldn't control him, so you blame the bloodline or the breed. That means your own cold blood or warm blood horse will be, let's say, totally out of control when it really matters. When he disagrees with you and wants something, and you want something completely different, he will act or react just like hot blood horses act or react. For example, normal walk, normal trot, normal canter, or in cutting or reining or show jumping or whatever, a warm blood or a cold blood, or let's say warm blood, or a hot blood but who happens to be, let's say, calmer, a thoroughbred or a quarter horse or whatever, gave you a better result. So you say that the bloodline of this horse is much better because technically he's easier to handle than the other horse, but you don't want to admit that. Whatever. Let's say that you are right. That means you did not control the hot horse. Regardless of why he's hot, you did not control him as much as you controlled your own calm, relaxed horse. So if, and that's a big if, but if your horse, for a reason or another, decided to become hot for a couple of seconds or minutes, we already know that you can't control a hot horse, a crazy Arabian hot blood horse. which means your own cold blood or warm blood horse in a real tough, hard situation, when he wants to spook, when he wants to change the direction or bolt or buck or whatever, he will react just like the Arabian does in normal situations. If the Arabian is trying to buck you off, or let's say bolt or rear or whatever, in normal situations, the cold blood or the warm blood will do the same thing, but in harder, more tough situations. At the end, when he does that, regardless of why, regardless of when, we know that you cannot, or you know that you cannot control him if he decided to do these things. Which means the way or the style of riding is the problem, because it cannot control the horse in this situation. When he decides to do something completely against what you want, the complete opposite of what you want, your way of riding cannot handle him. So you do something else, or let's say you jump to plan B, which is don't give a horse, or don't give the horse a reason to disagree with you. Don't put him in a situation that makes him disagree with you, and most horses will do that and give you what you want. But as a warm horse, a warm blood horse, or a hot blood horse, or a hot horse who has a, let's say, a hot temper or behavior, he will give you what your horse gives you in very tough situations in normal situations, which means this situation is going to happen. It's just a matter of time before your own horse gives you what the Arabian horse gave you. But he does not do it a lot. He does it, but he doesn't do it a lot, which means the way of riding is not complete in my opinion. You get back to lunging, and the martingale, and the spurs, and the whip, and the tight circles, and the turns, and whatever. Then you blame the bloodline. Then you blame the one who trained the horse before you. Then you blame the equipments and the tools. The way of riding is not complete. It's good, it's perfect in some situations, but when it really matters, it's not complete, it's not perfect, it's not the total package in my opinion. Okay, when does it really matter? When the horse doesn't want to give you what you want, which means when he is hot, when he is closer to the Arabian horse's behavior or temper. There is no opinion about that, it's a fact, because it's the same Arabian blood horse, or the horse who happens to be Arabian or from a hot bloodline, and they blamed him, or blamed the equipments or the tools, and someone rode him in a much better way of riding, and he totally controlled him and got what they got with their own horses. A fact that you can see with your own eyes. So it was not the horse, it was them. And their own calm, much better horses in their opinion, when the horse totally disagreed and wanted something you did not want. What does the Mustang, the quarter horse, the thoroughbred, the Anglo-Arabians, the barb horses, some warm blood horses in Europe, and some cold blood horses do when they totally disagree, when they buck, when they rear, when they bolt? Sometimes they are much stronger and harder to handle than many Arabians, but you don't see it a lot. It's like saying that this guy doesn't get angry a lot, but when he does, you still cannot deal with him in the right way. So the fact is, you don't know how to deal with an angry guy. So you look for someone who doesn't get angry a lot. But everyone, with no exception, will get angry sometimes. Okay, they get angry less than other people, but they will get angry sometimes. And when they do, if you don't know how to handle them or how to deal with them, the problem is on you, not just on them. And the proof is someone else, totally different, handled their anger in a much better way. So it's not the bloodline, it's not the behavior, it's not the nature, it's the way of riding. That doesn't mean that there is no real differences between Arabian horses and cold blood horses and warm blood horses. Of course there is a real difference, and every horse is good for something, and every horse is bad in something. But if he's bad in something, then someone else rode him in a much better way or a different way, and that bad thing became a good thing and disappeared, it means it was not a bad thing that happened because of the horse or his bloodline or his personality or character. It's something that happened because of you. The proof is we just changed the rider, and every single thing changed. Same equipments, same tools, same horse, same bloodline, same body conformation, same situation. I did not control him. You rode him in a much better way of riding. You controlled him. We did not change anything other than me. So the problem was me not the horse, not the equipments and the tools. So more than 70 or 90% of the people who say that Arabian horses or some hot blood horses are stupid, dumb, hard to handle or whatever, they are accurate and they are right, because it's a hard horse to handle by a bad rider like them. Again, it's a hard horse or type of horses or bloodline of horses to handle by a bad rider like them. So it's not the horse, it's them. What they say is true. It's hard to control a hot blood horse or animal if you are a bad rider. Usually they don't say the second half, they only say the first half. It's hard to handle, or it's let's say it's hard to handle a hot blood horse or an Arabian horse. Finish the sentence. Finish the idea. Yes, it's hard. Why? Because of you, not because of the horse. Of course, in Arabian horses, some are hard, some are easy, easier, or some are easy. Some are hard, some are easy, some are hard, some are easier. Some are, let's say, faster in movement and they don't use strength. Some other horses use strength and don't use the speed. Horses are different, just like bloodlines, just like people or whatever. But regardless of how different the horse is, even if it's from the same type or bloodline, or even if they are different in the bloodline or the type or the breed or whatever, it's not an excuse to not get the result you want. The marks or the grades will be different, always different, because horses are different, just like people. But it's not an excuse to get a very good result with a Mustang horse. Then you ride an Arabian horse and he bucks you off his back and you cannot get half the result you got with the Mustang horse, and you blame the Arabian horse, or the opposite. It makes no sense at all. A good rider with a good way of riding will get the same result with a Mustang, Arabian horse, a quarter horse, thoroughbred or whatever, warm blood, cold blood, hot blood. But yes, the mark can and should be different, because every horse is good in something or at something. If your way of riding depends on the equipments or the tools, when it really matters, it's just a matter of time before you lose control over the horse. If your real option to deal with the neck positions is the martingale, it's just a matter of time, because the horse, before the horse does something with the neck and uses it against you to buck you off his back or get out if you're controlling whatever. If your option to get rid of the horse's energy by lunging him half an hour, 40 minutes before the ride, it's just a matter of time before the horse gets his energy back and spooks and bucks you off his back. If your way of handling the problem of losing your balance is by putting a good saddle on his back and putting your weight on the stirrups, it's just a matter of time before he bucks you in a very hard way, and even the saddle will not be enough to keep you on his back. But when your option, only option, no plan B, no plan C, no plan F or Z or whatever, only plan A, one plan, which is the hand accuracy. I'm not using strength, but again, I'm not just letting go of the rein. I'm being with the horse. Every single thing that the horse does in leading or riding will be reacted to, or my reaction to it will be with the correct, accurate hand reaction. So there is no excuse, no other options, no other plans. Only one option: you, the horse, and the bridle or the rope that connects his nature to your nature. You want to control his nature, and he wants to run away from your nature. With time, as a good rider, you will be able to gain his trust, and when you gain his trust, you will totally control him, and he will do his nature inside your nature. He will spook in his place. He will be afraid in his place. He will be hot in his place. He will be calm and relaxed under control, and you will be able to move and get what you want. So, calm or relaxed under control is a good thing, not a bad thing. Calm or relaxed without control is a bad thing. He will use that against you and stop and be stubborn and not move, which is a bad thing. Hot or warm under control is a good thing, not a bad thing. You control him, stop him, move him back. Now, you don't want him to be warm or hot, it's up to you. But you cannot change his behavior or nature as long as you are controlling him. Okay, I cannot change who he is. It's his personality or his character, but I will control him. When you cannot control the horse, it's not the personality or the character anymore, it's your way of riding. That's my opinion about Arabian horses or hot bloodlines. It's not the bloodline, it's actually the way of riding. Oh, yeah.